One thing that's been a very popular type of videos from the Minecraft community are horror mods. These mods for the most part add a new entity or add horror elements into your Minecraft world in the hopes to make it scary. These types of videos have gotten millions of views, with channels even dedicating to this genre of Minecraft. But are these mods really that scary? That's what I'm here to find out. Join me as I take a look at 7 Minecraft horror mods. But before we even talk about my experiences with these horror mods, we're going to have to give these mods some ground rules. First, each of these mods will get at least 2 hours of playtime, because 1, I am playing 7 mods, and playing more than 2 hours on them would be pretty exhausting to do, and 2, I think 2 hours is a fair amount of time for something to at least happen with these mods. Next rule is that we aren't using any resource packs, as I'm trying to play these mods as raw as possibly as I can, and I'm not trying to enhance them by making my game completely pitch black. And lastly, I'm going to be playing all these mods separately and in different worlds, since I'm trying to experience each mod alone, and the only mods I'll be playing with will be the zoom in mod, just enough items, jade, and dynamic light, since I like having a torch in my hand. The last thing I'll be mentioning is that I do have cheats enabled, but only to set my game rule to keep inventory true, since I'm not trying to play walking simulator when I die, since I feel like those will take a bit away from the mods themselves. Now that we have all that out of the way, let's begin playing. So the first mod we have for today is the Cave Dweller. The one that I would say definitely sparked the interest of Minecraft horror quite a bit. I mean, there are many, and I mean many of Minecraft horror mods that are just the Cave Dweller really, but reskinned into a completely different creature. I will also say I did not play the original Cave Dweller. I played the Cave Dweller Reimagined, since it seems to be a bit more popular option, especially with the downloads, and I have a bit of experience with this mod before. But let's talk about my experience. So I just started the usual, getting the wood, some stone, but there was one thing I was really targeting, and those were villages and animals for food. Since this mod is entirely focused about the caves, because, well, it's the Cave Dweller, I want to get in there as soon as possible and have a good amount of food where I won't be able to worry about it. After about 2 days, I got plenty amount of food from 2 villages and a lot of food from the local wildlife. During my raiding and slaying, I did see a cave that looked pretty promising, and I decided that was going to be my home, for I was going to be living in the caves with the Cave Dweller. I made my journey to the cave, where I started to carve out my new home. I went ahead also to start building a stairwell down, and also torching the area and slaying all the other mobs that are nearby. After doing a little bit of mining and gearing up, I had my first encounter with the Cave Dweller. Oh I was definitely unsettled by that noise, but proceeded forward, but unfortunately nothing really happened. It was just a little spooky noise. Now, at this point, I'm going to skip the most part of what happens throughout this playthrough, since it was just kind of me mining, hearing the Cave Dweller every so often. Oh, there we go. There was a point where I pretty much explored the entirety of the cave that I was living in, but I still have about 30 minutes left to spare with this mod. During that time of mining, I found a couple diamonds and even made a little enchanting table, since my new mission at that point was to find and slay the Cave Dweller. So I emerged from the surface, something that I hadn't seen in a little while, and I just continued exploring to maybe find a new cave. I did find a new promising cave, and soon later I found a mine shaft. I was definitely hoping this is where I was going to find the Cave Dweller, but unfortunately nothing happened while I was in the mine shaft. At this point, time was running out, and my disappointment was definitely growing higher. However, during my trip back, this happened. Oh. Boy, look away will he disappear. This is actually kind of fun. Okay, you got a little close. my god. Oh, okay. Oh my lord. That right there. That took a while for him to spawn. I finally found and defeated a cave dweller, and that's where it all ended. This one I can understand why it was popular. Something about an entity only in the caves that stalks and hunts you is a pretty scary thought, since Minecraft caves themselves can be pretty scary. However, I do think that's where it kind of failed for me. Since a cave dweller can spawn anywhere in the cave, if you hear him, he may not be as close as you think he is. He, for all I know, could have just been on the other side of the cave, just making noises to spook me. However, I'm be giving the cave dweller a solid B tier. I think maybe if I encountered him a bit more, at least one more time, maybe he could have even gotten an A tier. But for what I have previous experience with this mod, it's not as bad as it could have been. Next we have is the Anomaly mod. This adds a creepy looking Steve-like entity into your Minecraft world. So I did the usual, just punching a tree, getting some stone. I did get something at the start of the world called the death totem, I think. And after reading what it said, I ate it and my screen got all messed up. Then I got jump scared and my game crashed. Oh. After getting back on, I just resumed what I was doing, explored a bit, found a village, and even found an abandoned village. Stealing all the food that I could and finding a spot to start building my house. I pretty much spent like the next 2 days working on it before I decided that on the third night I was going to be sleeping and I wanted to encounter the anomaly. It didn't take long for me to notice something was teleporting around my house.
What was that over there? Saw something spawn. This is not a good idea. Oh. You're zombies? Alright. Okay, I'm seeing something spawn around my house.
I then was able to finally take a good look at the anomaly.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay. I'm just gonna ignore you for now.
Being a bit worse since I wasn't sure if he just kept looking at the anomaly, he'll like teleport to you, kill you, or whatever. I just continued working on my house, and I would catch him every so often teleporting around me. I soon finished up my house and got ready for the mine. I found a good looking cave opening and just want to get a little bit of iron and some coal before I explored further. However, instead, I got hit with a pretty good scare from the anomaly.
Oh my god. Oh. Oh. Alright, you got me there. Okay, you got me there.
Despite that generally making me jump quite a bit, I proceed a little bit further for a little bit more coal and iron before heading back to smelt all the ore that I got. I made iron pick, some armor, shield, and went back into the cave. I went further down finding some mobs when this happened.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Well. Okay.
Despite that startling me, I proceed forward through the cave. I soon found a mine shop and hoped that I would get another disturbing encounter with the anomaly, but unfortunately nothing really happened there. I went back home to smelt the remaining iron that I had to fully gear up to do my last cave expedition. I did went back down to get a couple more resources and did encounter the anomaly, but he was just staring at me. I was getting close to the end of the 2-hour recording, but I ended up getting one last scare from the anomaly.
Okay. Okay.
So overall, I'm going to give the anomaly a high B tier. I was definitely thinking that maybe this mod could be an A tier, but I decided to bump it down for one major reason. It was for the most part my experience with this mod, it was just the anomaly watching from afar and disappearing. While it can be unsettling the first couple of times, it just kind of loses a fear factor to me once it just keeps happening over and over again. Also, at one point whenever I was playing, the torches kept flickering, the mobs kept standing still, which I knew was a thing in the mod, but kind of looked silly at the same time. I personally love hearing all the blocks breaking around me, and not too long seeing the anomaly close in at me. That was just a really good setup for a little scare. This one even made me question if I even saw him, since sometimes he just teleports instantly as soon as you take a look at him. This one also plays very well on seeing something in the corner of your eye then disappearing. I had a few times where I thought I saw something but didn't see in time and questioned if I even saw anything until I went back to look at the footage. This is a really good solid horror mod, and I would definitely recommend taking a look at it if you want a little jump or two. The next mod I have is the Mimicker, and oh boy, this one was a rough one. The Mimicker is a creature that pretty much is a messed up looking Steve with his limbs and other body parts all stretched out. From what I know, this is because Steve was infected with some kind of alien parasite. Anyways, here is my experience. So I spawned in the world, started the usual, breaking wood, stone, blah 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 blah. And not even 10 minutes in, I had a little hearing of the Mimicker.
Okay. That. Mm-hmm. that actually got me a little startled. I'm not gonna lie.
After that, I explored, found a village, got a bunch of hay and slabs. I then found another village that was not too far away in the desert and just started to loot it. At this point, I realized I wanted to set up a base in the desert since I thought it would be a cool idea to do. I explored further and found another village, and right next to it was a temple. After looting both, I decided that I was going to convert the desert temple into my base. I mined up some parts of the temple to make it more spacey and started to gather some more resources. I tried to find and have an encounter with the mimic, so I stayed up that night. Unfortunately, nothing happened. So I just went back home and did some mining, got myself some armor. At this point, it was well over an hour and I even haven't gotten a look at the Mimicker. I even thought at one point that maybe it was because I was in the desert and he wasn't spawning in properly or something. I don't know.
Alright, I'm checking it out. It's been like well over an hour. And we still have not encountered the Mimicker. I've been just hearing its voice this entire time. To be honest, it's getting a little repetitive, so I think the plan is we're gonna give it another night. Maybe we might try to find a different biome. I don't know if it's the desert. I don't even know what really. But like this thing's like just not spawning. It's kind of like getting boring, to say it the least. So I don't know. I guess I'm just gonna run around for a bit. Maybe try to find something because I'm getting a little bored just sitting and well, not sitting, but just running around in the caves and at night and seeing nothing. So oh, it's getting nighttime soon here. So I guess we'll just wait till it gets nighttime and give it a try. Then go back into the caves and hopefully we find this thing.
I soon then went to a different spot since I thought that maybe it was because I was in the desert and he wasn't spawning. I then went down into a cave to maybe see if I can encounter him again, where I actually got my first scare through this playthrough.
Jesus Christ, oh my god. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, I bet you thought it was gonna be the Mimicker too, right? Yeah, I wish it was the Mimicker. After that, I was just kind of defeated playing through this mod at this point. It probably also didn't help that it was almost 2 in the morning whenever I was recording for this mod. So I just ended up finding a camel. I named him Winston, I think. And we set off around the desert where pretty much is where it ended. I didn't end up finding the Mimicker at all. This mod was unfortunately kind of just painful to play through, to be honest, especially the lack of anything really. The noises I can understand could be a little bit scary because it could indicate that the mimicker is nearby, but nothing happened. But unfortunately, it was just some audio that just kept playing around me. I am gonna be genuinely giving this mod a D tier. It really doesn't have that much horror elements to it besides audio, and it was only scary maybe once and then just got really dull really fast. The only reason why I didn't give it something like an F tier as much as my tired self at that time wanted to give it, it was because I have seen this mod work before in like videos and stuff, so maybe I just had bad RNG or the mod doesn't work, I really don't know. The next mod I have is The Knocker. This mod adds a new entity called The Knocker where he pretty much just stalks you and invades your home. So I start off as the usual. Get the wood, stones, and find a village. Just get a bunch of same old stuff really. I did end up finding a cherry blossom biome where the village was at and decided that this would be a fun place to build a house for since I really never built with cherry wood before. And that's what I did for a good chunk of the time. Just go chop down cherry wood trees, even got a little bit of birch for the floor, and soon my house was mostly built. However, I did need to get some glass, and since it was already nighttime, I thought this was a good idea to try and get my first encounter with the knocker. After I collected my sand, as I walked my way back to my house, I got what I wished for.
Ooh. Okay, that's... There he is. Whoa, 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 hey, 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 buddy. Oh my god, he's coming after me. Not doing... Oh boy. I should probably... Hey, hey, hey. Can I kill him? Oh, he hits really fast. Oh my god. Oh my... Oh, why am I slowing down? Get you in the lava, maybe? Is he still chasing me? Yeah, okay. That's not good. Okay, well that's anticlimactic.
After that encounter, I got ready and started to head down to the mines to get a bunch of iron. By the time it was ready for me to head back home, it was already getting dark. I got to my house and started to sleep, but I then decided that I wanted to try to get another encounter with the knocker. So I just wandered pretty much throughout the night and nothing really happened. So I just went back home to go to sleep.
Oh! Oh! Okay, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
After that pretty good encounter, I just went exploring and soon found a mine shaft during my adventure, and then when I headed back up unknowing that I would had an unexpected visitor.
Oh! Okay, he just went through my shield. Okay. That was actually not cool.
And this is pretty much where I'm gonna end it right here for my experience with the knocker. For the rest of the time I did was just explore and try to find the knocker one last time, but ended up not happening. So this mod honestly surprised me. After looking at the mod page, I honestly thought this at best was gonna be a C tier mod, since I thought that this thing wouldn't have been that scary. But after I tried out the mod and had a decent amount of encounters with the knocker, I do gotta say it did a pretty good job of what it was supposed to do. I personally love it opening doors while I was sleeping just to watch and stalk me. I could see 100% this scaring people and make them at least feel a bit uncomfortable. That being said, I'm giving the knocker a solid B tier. I think what this mod does it very well. An entity whose main purpose is to attack or disturb you at the only place that's supposed to be safe in your Minecraft world from everything else is a really good concept. I just think that the knocker's design is what doesn't do it for me really. It being a player model just mostly black with a white face isn't too scary for a concept like this. Maybe if the knocker was a bit more of a cave entity, it could have worked a lot better. Like imagine seeing this pure white glowing face through the darkness. I think that would really work a bit well compared to it just appearing in your house. I do think that would have personally bumped it up a bit for me, but I still think this is a good solid horror mod. The next mod I have is the Apollyon mod. This is one of the few mods I have played during its alpha release or when it only had one entity, the Damned. Which in my experience back then, I probably would have honestly given this mod a D tier, but let's see if it has improved. So I did the usual, got some tools, slayed the wildlife, found a village, and found a place to build a house. I soon got the house mostly done, but I wanted to stay up the night see if I could spot anything through my windows. Then I got what I wished for. Whoa. Whoa. That's not an enderman. Hello? I guess I gotta take a look at where that is. Make sure spawn point set. Okay. Okay. That was not cool. My God. I actually almost threw my headphones. That I thought he would have just chased after me. I was not expecting a full edge jump scare. Okay, we're sleeping. We're going to bed. We're sleeping. That right there was the fallen entity that kind of acts like an enderman. If you look at it, you'll get jump scares. So after that horrific scare, I decided to continue forward and started to mine, and did that for quite a while. I soon got some armor, then went out to try to find another entity. As I was walking, I had my first encounter with the Damned. What? Whoa. Unfortunately, it was a bit anticlimactic with it spawning in the water, but it was also something new compared to the first time I played with this mod. I soon went into the forest where I had another encounter. I figured that maybe the dam spawned underneath me or something, or maybe it got stuck. I'm entirely not sure. Anyways, I just kept walking through the forest all the way into the daytime. That's when I came across a weird looking structure.
That did not answer my question. The infector. You have a lot of health, so why aren't you fighting me? You shouldn't be here. I succumb to this infection soon. I guess that's why you're called the infector. Persistent, aren't you? Well, if you want to hear how I end up like this, then stay. But if this infection takes over me, I want you to kill me. I'm gonna be honest, Chief. I don't think I had the gear for that, but oh well. All right. Not very long ago, there was another player just like you. I gave him the name Villager 1202, but I found that he was different. Okay. There would be times where he would smile so wide, it looked like he would always stare into his face with that manic. I took him under my wing and he became a member of the abandoned council. The same council of this building served its purpose too. Here. Oh wow. You know what? We're gonna take some of these. You don't mind if I take some of this stuff, right? Sorry, I know you're on like your dying breath. I am also going to lower the music because this is getting loud. Okay, never mind. Cough, cough. Oh no. I grew suspicious of him. His fever only got worse, and one day he learned one of those things in here. Should I start running soon? Oh my god. Like, whoa. Okay, I'm good. Oh, I pressed the wrong buttons here. I'm not that fast in the water. Creepy design though. Ooh. It has begun. Unleash the what? What did I just do? I didn't. I'm going back home. That's not good, is it?
After having the encounter with the infector, I just continued exploring. I found a village and had another encounter with the dam.
Ow. Is he behind me? I think he was behind me. Okay. I'm gonna sleep okay there, puppy.
After I had respawned back into my house, I read the written books trying to understand a little bit more lore that this mod had to explain. But at this point, this is where time pretty much ended with this mod. Now, I will say this mod has definitely 100% improved since the last time I played it. However, I don't think it's that very good. The damn well I do think has improved from it just being looking at it to trigger, I think it now has become a bit more annoying. Having it where it can just spawn anywhere and just targets you kind of ruins a little bit of the fear factor for me. This is the one of the things I do like about the mod is that the mobs are really animated very well. This alone creates a great impact playing with this mod, and sure, while it can be annoying at first having yourself be slowed, but at least I was a bit spooked by it. For the new mobs, I think they're just fine. The Fallen's probably the better of the newer mobs, but I do think it's just kind of boring, especially designed and also how it's really avoidable. The Infector I do like since it helps explains the lore of the mod a bit more, only really becomes a one-time thing. After you've seen it all with this mob, and from what I've seen, it doesn't spawn in the overworld at all. Overall, the Apollyon mod gets a solid C tier. While the mod has definitely improved since the last time I played, but it has more problems for me at least to really give it a higher tier. The next mod I have is the Man from the Fog. This mod adds in an entity called the Man from the Fog, which is a long, lengthy creature that will stalk and hunt the player. So I spawned the world and started the usual stuff, and you know what? I'm realizing now how boring the start of this talk is for these. This right here is honestly not even scripted. I'm just kind of getting tired of explaining the same old stuff over and over at the start of these. So I'm just gonna skip ahead. And I just found a jungle and I wanted to build a treehouse. So I started chopping down trees, making slabs, fencing up the place so I don't fall over since I am very clumsy. After I got the house pretty much done, I needed to get some coal to help light the place up. So I went down into the caves. Once I finally emerged out of the cave, it was nighttime. So I rushed all the way back to my home. However, I noticed I was being watched. Oh dear God. Should I really be going out? Probably not. The house is just right over there. I can make it. I can be fine. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is actually not cool. Hell. It's just stalking me. I don't like that. Okay, I'm just gonna get up to my house. I'm just gonna get up to my house. Still there? I don't think it's still there anymore. I don't even know what street is it. Dear God. Okay. I mean, it got a lot of cool now, which is phenomenal. I definitely needed to get some sleep this night. That I didn't know he can be hanging off of stuff like hello? Oh. Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's not really cool there, Mr. Man from the Fog. I would appreciate if you didn't kept watching me from afar and stalking me. It's kind of not ideal. After sleep off what just happened, I started cooking all my food that had gone involved slaying the local wildlife. The Man from the Fog was already ready for another visit. Again? I was just writing stuff for my script. There you are. Should I be scared? I don't like these noises.
Uh, okay. I was working on my script and stuff for this video, and I don't know what happened. Uh, I think he was trying to go after me. I wonder if maybe the jungle was a little, like, tough for him to navigate. Maybe I chose the right biome to deal with this guy. I thought maybe I was stupid. Speaking of stupid, you know what? We're gonna break these two ladders right here, because more I'm thinking about it, I might need to, like, block him off or whatever from getting up here if he gets too close. So I think that would be the better idea. So now I'm gonna go off to mine.
Luckily, I guess he got stuck in the trees or maybe even the vines, so he didn't end up showing up at my house. But I got ready again to head back into the caves and just get some good old iron. After getting a ton of iron, I headed back to Smelterdale and gear up. I went to explore to see if there's any structures or maybe another encounter with the man from the fog, and I soon heard a familiar sound.
See the tree line somewhere?
I then ignored that and just found a village, and it was already nighttime, so I waited for the man from the fog. However, I got bored waiting, so I started slaying some of the mobs and ended up dying. After respawning, I decided to go to a different way where I can maybe try to find something more interesting, which indeed I did.
Whoa. The hell is that? That's definitely not a vanilla structure. That's actually a pretty tall building. And a pink sheep by it. Wow, look at that. Who's that? Sounds like a villager. I hope it's a villager. Who are you? Cultist? I was laughing because he was selling air. Now it's not funny anymore. Hey, where are you? Where is this man from the fog? That genuinely. He's not in the building. Oh my god! If he's in the building, where is he? Where are you? I hear you. I don't see. Is he just trying to mess with me? Are you messing with me, man from the fog? Or I could be blind. That is always an option. You actually might be inside the building. I don't know if I'm gonna like that. I mean, you got a chanting table, which is really cool. Tear of the Man. Get the tea. Is this like a drop he has? Or what's going on? A health potion. Could maybe enchant my gear for it, but I don't have lapis. I'm stupid. Okay, so this is definitely a structure from the man from the fog. And he did not like that I was nearby it. What am I doing this? Is there like a thing? Oops. A thing I can use it for? No. I don't know. Maybe there's like something. Is there anything in this mod that I can I had this border.
After seeing this new kind of villager called the cultist for trade, I figured that maybe I could get a tape player from it, so I began my trading process for it. I found a new village that wasn't too far away from the building, and started to farm emeralds from Fletchinder. I got a few emeralds, and went back to trade with the cultists. However, while trading, the man from the fog did not appreciate that.
Hey there, bud. Gotta buy some stuff off of you. I need a lot more things. You don't like I'm trading with this guy? Hmm? There, Mr. Man from the Fog? Where are you, boy? Sounds like he's not far away. Oh. Oh! You can't climb. Oh my! Oh! He can climb. He can climb. Oh my god. Okay. Oh crap! That was actually not cool.
I returned back to continue trading, leveling up the cultists, but unfortunately at this point time ran out. This mod was definitely, I would say, the best when it came to the stalking element, especially the first encounter I had with the man from the fog where he's just hanging off the tree was really cool and really executed well. The creature itself, while a bit basic in design, I still think works very well, and I can imagine it can be enhanced quite a bit with resource packs or any other mods. However, this mod is still a solid B tier. It's definitely a good mod to try out if you want to experience some scares in Minecraft, but I wouldn't call it a top tier scary mod. Finally, we have wonderland.jar, a mod that in a way is kind of its own take of the backrooms. Here, you teleport into multiple dimensions. Within these dungeons are a set of new mobs that are aimed to give you a fright. Knowing I could be teleported into any dimension at any point, I knew I needed to get ready. I focused on getting a lot of food and resources, for I wasn't sure what these dimensions had to offer. As I was getting ready, I was going to skip the night, unaware that this was going to be a bit before I came back to the overworld. Oh, no. I had food in there. Okay. This is interesting. I might just jump straight down there. Guess we should see anything. I don't think there's anything. I might be Please don't kill me. Oh. Oh. First, he's whoops, is good. Now, at this point, I would be doing some narration about this, but I'm gonna leave my raw reactions with this mod to show how bad it was. Why? Huh? Okay. Kind of leave sticky for a little bit. Oh no, my coal. I can make some charcoal though. I can do that. Oh, just you.
should get that bed back there. Thank you, sir. I forgot my bed is in the real world. Oh. Oh. I don't like this. I don't like it. What the hell? What? Oh, I don't like. Who is that? Oh my. Okay. I need a breather. This is actually really, really stressful. Oh my god. There's a library. Maybe that's a good sign. Okay. I honestly don't want to get down from here. Oh! What are you? My god. feel like I could go through the library without your genuinely. But to be honest, I don't want to. Can you with me? Does it sound like something fell? What the? Okay, I guess I'm in a different world area. Oh my god, that was so stressful. Oh. Okay, I guess this is the next room. No! No, 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 no. Oh, I did not want to be back here. No. Oh! What do I do about you? Oh, I do not want to be back here. Are you friendly? I'll put my faith that you're friendly. Oh my god, he was not friendly. Where's the way out? Where's the... So there's a way out. There it is. Okay. This one room is a lot more calm. At least to me it is. I'm gonna stay there now and I get really, really scared. Oh. I guess so. What if I try to suffocate myself? But how would we try that? Because I want to see what happens if I, like, die in here. Alright, where am I gonna go now? Oh my god, I forgot. I slept in here. No. Oh, I'm in hell. I'm legit in my own hell. So overall, I'm easily giving this mod an S tier. I know I have barely scratched the surface of what this mod can do and offer, but from the experience that I had compared to the rest of these horror mods, I can easily tell you
that wonderland.jar is the scariest Minecraft horror mod I have ever played. The dimension alone that I was in for the most of the time sold it for me. Being this type labyrinth area with rooms looking similar to each other, doors opening and closing, creates great tension while playing. While the mobs themselves, design-wise, aren't really that scary looking, they do very well within the area they are in. Can't imagine running into these guys in a very tight hallway, and I'm sure lucky I didn't have to experience that. This mod overall is something I'm definitely going to explore more in the future, even maybe with some friends, since I think it'll be a fun, scary time with them. Looking back at all these mods I've played for this video, I can see why some of them are good and why some of them aren't so good. I think the main problem I have with some of these mods that end up on the lower ranking in this video is probably going to due to their audio. Audio is very important in horror, for it can break or make it whatever you're trying to do. For example, when playing with the cave dweller mod, hearing those noises for the very first few times, I definitely was a bit on edge since I was expecting something to happen. But when that something doesn't happen, the tension ends up being lost, and it gets lost especially when this keeps happening over and over and over. This also happens with some of the mobs spawning, where some of them will play some kind of spooky music letting me know that the thing is nearby. But I think some of these mobs would have benefited if there was none at all. But that is also the thing about horror. Horror is definitely a very subjective thing. Just because I don't find some of these horror mods to be that scary doesn't mean they aren't. I can see how these mods have gone popular, and especially giving them the right resource packs or anything, you can have a very good solid horror experience with them. All I have to say in this video is this is completely my personal opinion, so don't let me be the one to tell you which mods you should and or shouldn't try out. But with that, I think that's wrap today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. Let me know what's your favorite Minecraft horror mod. Or maybe let me know if you're interested in a second video. Since the amount of horror mods that are out there, there's a lot more I can definitely cover. Since who knows, maybe one of them is truly haunting. But be sure to like or subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, and have a good one.